Good day everyone, my name is Lee Wei Jian and my metric number is 286519. Now I will present my individual assignment. My title is Factors that Influence Unemployment Among Fresh Graduates in Kedah, Malaysia. Let me start with Chapter 1 Introduction, Background of the Study. The youth unemployment rate was increased from 9.97% in 2014 to 10.66% in 2023, which means that the unemployment rate of youth has become larger over the years. The total number of graduates in Malaysia was recorded 1.2 million from 2014 to 2018, but there are only 280,000 jobs are available in 2018. Next is the motivation of the study. Unemployment among fresh graduates is a pressing global issue including Kedah, Malaysia. Although there is increase in higher education institutions, unemployment rate for fresh graduates still remain high. This study aims to understand the factors influencing this issue, crucial for policy and economic planning. Problem statement. The labour market in Kedah is faced the problem which there is the limited job opportunities and mismatch between the skills of graduates and the demands of industry. The state is depend on the traditional sectors. There is low economic growth and the minimal industrial diversification. Next is the research question. First question is what are the demographic background of the fresh graduate in Kedah, Malaysia? Second question is there is the autocorrelation, heterogeneity, and multicollinearity problem occur in this study. Third question is what is the relationship between education level, graduates characteristic, employability skills, job mismatch, and labour market condition with unemployment among fresh graduate in Kedah. Next is the research objective. First objective is to identify the demographic background of fresh graduates in Kedah, Malaysia. Second objective is to analyze either the autocorrelation, heteroscedasticity, and multicollinearity problem occur in this study. Third objective is to study the relationship between education level, graduate characteristic, employability skills, job mismatch, and labour market condition with unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah. Significance of the study. The study identifies the factors influencing unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah. Second, it provides crucial insight for policymakers to develop strategies to reduce unemployment. Third, it offers guidance for the Ministry of Education to enhance the quality of the education system. Last part in Chapter 1 is Scope of Study. The study focuses on fresh graduates in Kedah, Malaysia by using primary data they collected through the questionnaire. Let's continue with Chapter 2 Literature Review. 2.1 Journal Article. There are many different journal articles with different information and knowledge. This study used 10 journals as the reference in doing research. The journal they use will be appear at next slide. Next is review of variable. The variable consists of unemployment among fresh graduate, education level, graduate characteristic, employability skills, and job mismatch. 2.3 is economic theory. The economic theory that find in this chapter is human capital theory and mismatch theory. The human capital theory focuses on the role of education and skills that improve the productivity of one person. Mismatch theory used to examine the mismatch between skills owned by graduate and the skill demanded by employers. Next is the gap of study. Although there is extensive research about the unemployment among fresh graduates, but there is a lack of specific study that focus on the factor which is labour market condition. This study aims to fill that gap by examining the local determinants and their information. Next is the journal article that used in this study. First article is from Greg and Eric, which focus on relationship between education level and unemployment in South Africa. Next is the article from Hobson et.al., which focus on how soft skills, English proficiency, and mismatch affect unemployment among graduates in Klang Valley. Third is the article from Raja et.al. that focus on relationship between job mismatch, English proficiency, and employability skill with unemployment among graduates in Malaysia. Fourth is the article from Hussein et.al. that study the association between employer preference, graduate characteristic, and economic instability with the unemployment crisis. Fifth is the article from Nagarajan and Edwards, which focus on the graduate attribute approach India is sufficient to develop graduates ready for work. Sixth is the article from Kadir et.al., which examine the relationship between employability skills, job mismatch, and unrealistic salary demands with graduate employment. After that is the journal article from Krishnan and Salahuddin that study relationship between skill mismatch, economic condition, and education quality with graduate unemployment rate. While next article is from Sharia et.al. that study relationship between higher education and unemployment rate. Furthermore, it was the article from Ma et.al. that study on how population growth and FDI affect unemployment rate. The last article is from Jeffrey et.al. that focus on relationship between graduate characteristic, graduate skills, job mismatch, and unrealistic salaries with unemployment among Malaysian graduates. Let's move to Chapter 3 Methodology. The method used to collect the data is Question A. A Google Form survey is created and given to the fresh graduate in Kedah. The Question A consists of two elements. First is demographic background, and the second is the question about the independent variable. Let's continue with 3.2 data analysis technique. The technique they use to analyze the data are descriptive analysis, regression analysis, and Pearson correlation analysis. Next is 3.3 model specification. First is ordinary least square OLS. The OLS has been constructed to examine the relationship between unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah and various influencing factors. The model is formulated as unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 times education level, beta 2 times graduate characteristic, beta 3 times employability skill, beta 4 times job mismatch, beta 5 times labor market condition, and U represent the error term that capture the unexplained variance. After that is 3.4 RQRO method. First objective, we will use the methods such as question A and descriptive analysis. Second objective, we will use the Bing-Watson test, White test, and BIF test. Third objective, we will use question A and Pearson correlation analysis. Let's move to chapter 4, the findings. 4.1 is the text in short form that represent the work. UGK is unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah. EL is education level, GC is graduate characteristic, ES is employability skills, JM is job mismatch, and LNC is labor market condition. Section 4.2 shows the gender of respondent. There are 181 respondents is male, which is 47.1%, and 206 of respondent is female, which is 52.9%. Section 4.3 is the age of respondents. The age that has the highest amount of respondents is 24 years old, which is 92 respondents. Next is the higher qualification of respondents. Most of the respondents is taking the Bachelor of Degree. After that, Section 4.5 is type of institution of respondent. The amount of respondents from private university or at college is the highest one. Next is the section 4.C field of study of respondents. Most of the respondent is from the art and social science field, which is 114 respondents. 4.7 is the cross correlation between gender and field of study. The result shows that male respondent and female respondent mostly come from art and social science field, which is 52 and 62 respondents respectively. Furthermore, it was the cross correlation between higher qualification and type of institution. Most of the respondents from the four types of highest qualification are from the private universities and college. Let's go to the descriptive analysis. The variable that has the highest mean is education level, which is 3.2891, while the lowest mean is 3.2453 from the employability skills. Next is the median, mode, and standard deviation. The standard deviation for all variables is lower than 1. It means that the standard deviation shows the data points that are closer to the average mean for this data set. For the skewness, the dependent variable UGK and independent variable GC have the negative skewness, while other variables have positive skewness. For the kurtosis, the education level is leptokurtic with the kurtosis amount of 7.110. The others variable are platykurtic with the kurtosis amount of below 3. Next is the autocorrelation, heteroscedasticity, and multicollinearity. The value of the Bing-Watson is 2.027. This value is between 1.5 to 2.5, which means that the autocorrelation does not present. Besides that, the significant level of White test is 0.374, which is greater than 0.05. This means that the heteroscedasticity problem does not exist and the model can be trusted. Furthermore, the value of VIF for all variables are between 1 to 5, which means that the variable is moderate correlated and there is no multicollinearity problem need to be corrected. Next is the regression analysis. The table shows the regression result for the study on the unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah. First, the education level has a coefficient of negative 0.502, indicating that 1% increase in education level leads to a 0.502 decrease in unemployment among fresh graduates, holding other variables constant. This result is significant with a p-value of 0.006, showing a strong negative relationship between education level and unemployment. Higher education levels increase the quality of graduates, making it easier for them to find jobs and reducing unemployment. Second, graduate characteristic has a coefficient of 0.171. This means 1% increase in problems with graduate characteristic increase unemployment by 0.171%. However, this result is not significant with a p-value of 0.305, while graduate characteristic theoretically influence employability. The data does not show a significant impact in this case. Besides that, employability skill have a coefficient of 0.424, indicating that 1% increase in employability skill issue increase unemployment by 0.424%. This result is significant with a p-value of 0.015. Good employability skills such as adaptability, reliability, and integrity are crucial for securing jobs, and lacking these skills significantly raise the unemployment rates. Furthermore, job mismatch has the highest coefficient of 1.206, meaning that 1% increase in job mismatch problem leads to the 1.206% increase in unemployment. This relationship is highly significant with a p-value of 0.001. Job mismatch occur when graduate skills do not align with availability job opportunities, leading to prolonged periods of unemployment. In addition, labor market condition shows a coefficient of 0.002, which is not significant with a p-value of 0.989. This suggests no significant relationship between labor market condition and unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah, although labor market conditions generally influence employment rates in broader context. Lastly, the R-square value of 0.775 indicates that 77.5% of the variation in unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah is explained by our model. The F-test value of 16.601 further supports the model significance. These findings highlight the importance of addressing job mismatch, enhancing employability skill, and improving education quality to reduce unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah. Last session in chapter 4 is the correlation analysis. From the table, there is a positive relationship between a job mismatch and unemployment among fresh graduates in Kedah, with a correlation coefficient of 0.391 and a p-value of less than 0.001, which is less than 0.05. This indicates a moderate and significant correlation at the 5% level. Specifically, a 1% increase in job mismatch is associated with a 0.391% increase in unemployment among fresh graduates holding other variable constant. Similarly, there is a positive relationship between job mismatch and employability skills with a correlation coefficient of 0.374 and a p-value of less than 0.001, which is also insignificant at the 5% level. This means that 1% increase in job mismatch correlate with a 0.374% increase in problem related to employability skill holding other variable constant. However, there is a correlation coefficient of 0.022 and a p-value of 0.337, which is greater than 0.05 between labor market condition and unemployment among fresh graduates. This indicates no significant relationship between these variables. Furthermore, there is a negative relationship between labor market condition and graduate characteristic with a correlation coefficient of negative 0.107 and a p-value of 0.018, which is less than 0.05. This indicates a low but significant correlation at the 5% level and suggesting that 1% increase in problem in labor market condition correlate with a 0.107% increase in graduate characteristic holding other variables constant. Lastly, there is a negative relationship between labor market condition and employability skills with a correlation coefficient of negative 0.092 and a p-value of 0.035, which is also significant at 5% level. This suggests that 1% increase in problem in labor market condition correlate with a 0.092 decrease in employability skills holding other variables constant. Last chapter is chapter 5, findings and recommendation. The first objective can conclude that female respondent has a significant portion compared to the male respondent. Majority of respondents were in the age between 24 to 25 years old. Besides that, the highest qualification that has the greater amount of respondent is the respondent who take the bachelor degrees, which is 55.7%, while the type of institution that has the greater amount of respondent is the respondent from private universities or college, which is 44.8%. Lastly, majority of respondents was from the art and social science field. Next, second objective can conclude that the value for Darwin-Watson is 2.027. This value is between 1.5 to 2.5, which means that the autocorrelation does not present in the study. For the value of white test, it was 0.374 that is greater than 0.05. This means that there is no heteroscedasticity problem. Last is the VIF. The value of VIF for all independent variables are between 1 to 5. This means that the variables are moderately correlated and there is no significant multicollinearity to be corrected in the study. Next is 5.2, the limitation, and 5.3, the recommendation. The first limitation is the student bias. This happens when the response from respondent did not accurately represent their true thoughts. The recommendation for this limitation is implement MIS method approach. This method combines the quantitative survey and qualitative interviews. This can help to capture the comprehensive understanding on the true thoughts and experience of respondents. It also can mitigate the effect of bias and provide more accurate data for doing analysis. Second limitation is there may be some other factor that has relationship with the dependent variable was fails to include. There is a suggestion which is the study can use more literature review to study the additional relevant factors. This can achieve more accurate and holistic view of factors on unemployment among fresh graduates. The last limitation is the research is only focused on the graduates in Kedah. The data collected from the respondent in Kedah does not represent the fully data such as in Malaysia. The suggestion is the future research can be expanded to bigger scope which is in Malaysia to overcome the geographic limitation. More comprehensive understanding about the factors influencing unemployment among fresh graduates in Malaysia can be achieved. The data they collected can also enhance the generalizability of the findings and provide the insight that applicable to a greater population. That's all from me. Thank you.